The next morning, sunlight fills the room and wakes me. I groan, hoisting the blanket over my face. I feel awful. I barely got any sleep the night before. Everything that happened last night crashes down on me like a tidal wave. I groan, running a hand over my face. This is going to be a long day.
Boy!
The Pongo blinks at me. He cocks his head.
Boy!
He gives me a little nudge with his face. Sorry, I'm fine. The Pongo's face settles into a worried expression.
Boy?
I sigh and sit up. The Pongo squeaks as he rolls down my chest and onto the bed. Sorry, little buddy. I pick him up and place him on my shoulder. I'm ready to go downstairs and meet the others. How about you? He frowns.
Boy!
He gives me a look indicating that he's still not entirely convinced I'm entirely okay. He'll be fine. Let's go. Even so, it feels difficult to even get out of bed. I force myself downstairs, but no one else is there yet. Suddenly I hear a clatter of footsteps. My stomach swoops with anxiety and hope. Part of me hopes it's Leanna. The other half doesn't because I'm not sure how to act around her. I see a pair of black boots and then a flash of a brown ponytail. I'll let out a sigh of relief. It's just Zach and Kara. Hey guys. Zach nods.
Hey.
I notice a few more scratches on his neck and collarbone again. Kara seems to be in her usual chipper mood, a bit too chipper. If Zach's wild hair and marks didn't indicate what happened yesterday, Kara's smirk sure does. A slow smile tugs at my mouth. Hey Zach, never saw you again last night. Zach blinks.
What?
I really missed you. You never came home.
Sorry, he was a bit tied up last night.
His face burns red. There's another trail of footsteps coming from behind me. My spine locks.
Greetings.
I turn around. Amy's there and Leanna is with her. I notice their arms are full of supplies. They must have gotten up early to go shopping. My heart cracks all over again. Just seeing Leanna and being around her, it hurts. Leanna's face burns with a blush.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I really don't know how to act around her. Leanna doesn't seem to know either. She just twists her hands and avoids eye contact.
We got all of the supplies, so we don't have to linger here any longer. We can get going.
I nod. Okay, sounds good. I really don't want to be in this town anymore. Traveling might help take my mind off things.
Let's get going.
Kara and Zach blink. They share a look with each other, but don't push it.
Okay.
We make our way out of the inn. Soon we find ourselves out of town and onto the new path. I remain quiet as we travel, immersed in my own swirling thoughts. Leanna avoids my contact, giving me space. Maybe she's trying to be respectful of my feelings. Or maybe she just can't stand to look at me. I don't know which thought is more comforting. They both leave me feeling empty. Dragging my feet, I lag behind the others. But I just can't seem to muster the energy to keep up. I keep replaying last night in my head. The evening was going perfectly until I sneak a glance at Leanna, who walks beside Amy. She stares straight ahead of her. Her walk looks stiff, like she's not comfortable in her own skin. Her hair sways with her hips, and I remember how softly it felt tickling my skin, almost as soft as her touch. My heart tightens and I shake my head. I can't linger on these thoughts. But I can't ignore how much I want to be near her. Having to hold back is torture. These feelings don't disappear overnight. Is this as hard for her as it is for me? As night falls, we find a place to camp. We split up camp duties per usual, with Zach and Kara preparing dinner and Leanna and I searching for firewood. We search in silence. I feel like I should say something, but I don't know what. Sometimes I catch Leanna casting glances my way. She looks like she wants to tell me something, but doesn't. Dinner is quiet. We talk, but the conversation quickly trails off. I barely touch my food, but I can't eat anymore. After cleanup, I slip away and take a seat alone. The stars shine brightly in the sky, but they just remind me of Leanna. The grass rustles beside me.
Boy?
The Pongo looks up at me with wide eyes. Hey, Pongo.
Boy.
He beams at me. I return a smile, but it doesn't reassure him. His face falls.
Boy.
Sorry, little man. I'm just not in the mood.
Boy.
He deflates, then snuggles up to me.
Boy.
I smile weakly as another voice interrupts.
Hey!
Kara sits down beside me. She gives the Pongo a short pat. Hey. She pauses, waiting. Then she gently nudges me.
Come on, spill it.
Spill what?
Something's got you down. What is it?
I can't remember what happiness feels like. Kara, what does happiness feel like? It's been so long. I can't remember.
Oh, that's not true. You know what being happy feels like.
She pulls me into a hug, resting my head against her chest. Okay, I'm starting to remember. With a little laugh, she lets me go.
It has something to do with Leanna, doesn't it?
What makes you say that?
You guys keep looking at each other and sighing, and you haven't done anything cute today. Obviously something is up.
Do I tell her? But she and Leanna are friends too.
Did you two have a fight?
Not exactly. Maybe I should just tell her. But I don't want to make things weird. Kara's brows knit.
You didn't break up, did you?
I remain quiet and her eyes widen.
You two broke up!
Reluctantly, I nod. She lets out a long sigh.
Oh no! But you two were so cute together. What happened?
Just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Of course it was! You two are perfect for each other. Are you sure you can't work it out?
Just doesn't make sense. Like Leanna said, I'm going to have to go home to my family and friends, and it's not like Leanna can come with me. She has her life there. She has her life here. Kara sighs deeply. She looks frustrated but understanding.
You do have a point. But that still sucks.
Yeah, it does. She faces me, her expression soft.
Seriously though, I'm sorry you're going through this. I get that you want your space right now, and I'll give it to you. But if you ever do want to talk, I'm all ears.
Thanks. She gives my shoulder a comforting squeeze before pushing herself to her feet. Without a word, she rejoins the group. I shift positions, feel the Pongo stir beside me. He blinks up at me again and cocks his head.
Boy?
Did you hear all that too?
Boy.
Yeah. But don't let this scare you. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. He cocks his head to the side.
Boy?
I look back out at the stars. Suddenly the Pongo bounced away towards the camp. Must have scared him off. I sigh and lean back on my elbows. After a few minutes, the Pongo returns, a crystal in his mouth. He drops it in my lap, then nudges my hand, urging me to pick it up. What's this?
Boy!
I turn the crystal around my hand. It's my old wind crystal I gave him when he was upset about that girl Pongo. Realization dawns on me. I gave him a crystal when he was upset over a girl, and now that I'm upset over a girl, he's giving me the crystal back. The Pongo watches me expectantly. This is yours, though. I can't accept this. I gave this to you. I offer the crystal back to him, but he just jumps back, shaking his head.
Boy!
I guess I have no choice but to take this back. I smile, genuinely warmed by the Pongo's attempt to cheer me up. Thank you. He beams. As the evening wears on and the campfire dies down, Leanna gently approaches me. I look up at her as she stands awkwardly beside me.
Hey.
Hey. There's a pause as I wait for her to fill the silence.
How are you doing?
Her eyes are full of concern as she twists her hands nervously. I give her a sad smile. I've had some time to really think, and I'll be okay. I understand why you did what you did. She matches my smile, but I can see the sadness in her eyes.
It's hard. I still care about you.
I know. I can tell that this is hurting Leanna too. I know things are different between us now, but I also believe we can move past it and remain friends. Were you looking for me for something?
Oh, it's just that it's getting late, and the rest of us are going to go to sleep. Maybe you should come back and get some rest too.
I nod. The Pongo sits on my shoulder as I push myself to my feet. Together with Leanna, we return to camp. I roll out my bedroll and lie down. I feel the Pongo cuddle against me as I close my eyes. After a while, my thoughts quiet and I finally drift to sleep. The next morning we get up bright and early. Everyone seems to be in a more serious mood as we clean up camp. We're getting really close to the Shadow Temple, and the weight of what we might find there weighs in on all of us. After we pack up, we continue on towards the Shadow Temple. The sky is clear and beautiful, but the sun is hot. It seems to beat on the back of our necks. The path is dusty, the sand pristine, but hard to walk in. After a while, I realize I'm getting desperately thirsty. I take a swig from my canteen, thankfully packed before heading out. I wonder how Zach managed to keep his trench coat on this whole time. Even Leanna looks a little stuffy in her armor. Kara's the only one who doesn't seem bothered by the weather. After what seems to be forever, we come across a temple ruined into the night. The stones are charcoal gray. It seems to be humming with a deep old magic. I can feel it from here. Something fizzy and crackling. A type of energy that settles deep within my bones without having to even enter.
This is it.
Leanna nods.
Yeah.
Kara grips her knives.
It's probably best we all stay close. We don't know where we're going to find Void, or whatever else we might find in there.
Leanna draws her sword. Her manipulator already gives off a faint glow. I ready my sword as well.
Right. Let's get going. Everyone, stay close.
We nod and together enter the temple. The temple is surprisingly dark and cool. There's a gentle moaning breeze coming from somewhere. It wisps around the back of my neck like the lips of a ghost. A shiver runs down the length of me. I'm unsure if I should be thankful or frightened. How is this place so cold when it's located in a desert? The walls are gray and etched with glowing lime green symbols. The stones here look rough and uneven, but the ground is dry and clear of any sand. The only sounds are the hammering of my heart and the crunch of our boots against stone. We stumble through the dark, taking small steps, fearful that we could turn a corner and stumble across Void at any minute. We keep inching onward. After what feels like an eternity, we stumble across an open area inside the temple. Leanna frowns.
This is strange. No one is here.
Kara keeps her voice low.
Maybe they're deeper inside the temple somewhere.
Leanna's brows furrow.
Maybe. I just feel like we would have heard them, or seen them by now.
Zach's jaw clenches.
This could be a trap.
A chill runs down my spine.
If that is the case, it does us no good to stay in one place. It is best to move on and see if we can find Void, or the Shadow Elemental.
The others agree.
Right. Then let's keep going.
Our footsteps echo in the quiet. Zach leads the way with his guard up. Kara stays close to him with Leanna and Amelia walking side by side. I take another step. The temple seems to be getting darker as shadows curl at my feet. I squint as the light grows fainter and fainter and the shadows grow longer and longer.
Be careful.
Leanna's voice sounds far away, but she was right next to me a minute ago. Leanna? My voice feels flat and dull against the emptiness. No echoes resound, in fact. I can't even hear my friend's footsteps anymore as the shadows thicken in the air. Soon the darkness overtakes me and I stumble, my hands out in front of me. Amy, do you think you could light us a fire? I'm met with silence. Amy? Glancing around, I'm surrounded by total darkness with no signs of my friends. Only a black abyss looms in front of me. I feel the tightness as the shadows squeeze closer to me. I close my eyes as I feel the whisper of a breath on the back of my neck. Then suddenly, it stops. The library is far more quiet than I would have expected this time of night. The only sound is the gentle hum of the air conditioner. Whoa, that was too close. I blink my eyes wide open. Then I stifle a yawn as I stretch to wake myself up. Focus. Finals are just around the corner, so I can't afford to slack off. Glancing around me, I notice I'm the only person left in the study cubicles. It is getting pretty late. I'll go back to the dorm as soon as I finish this last chapter. I flip through the book. Only a few more pages to go. I can do this. Stealing my resolve, I refocus on my textbook. The words on the books blur together as my eyelids grow heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open. My lids continue to droop. I'll just rest them for a second. Something jerks me awake and my eyes blink open. A bright light illuminates the room, blinding me until all I can see is stark whiteness. I throw my arm over my eyes to shield it from the light. After a few seconds pass, the light seems to dim, but it doesn't feel like the same fluorescent glow of the library bulbs. Carefully I unwind and bring my arm down, squinting at a pale blue sky. A mild breeze tussles my hair. Blades of grass tickle my neck as they wave in the wind. Where am I? I'm about to push myself up off the ground when something pops into view. A round blue blob with two dark eyes blinks at me.
Boy?
Why does this guy look familiar? When it noses my stare, it opens its small mouth and takes a dainty bite of my nose. Hey! The creature's bite doesn't sting, it feels like a cool splash of water. Before I can take another, I scramble to my feet. The creature tumbles off my head and falls to the ground. Once it lands, it shakes itself off with a gelatinous tremble, clearly unfazed.
Boy!
It hops onto my foot and opens its mouth again, but I quickly shake it off. It rolls off my foot into the dirt, then rights itself again.
Boy!
It pouts and continues to watch me, but doesn't attempt another bite. Pongo?
Boy?
I take in the scattering of trees around me. Their tall branches kiss the sky. There's a winding dirt trail which weaves through the trees. As I follow with my gaze, I see smoke billowing out of thatched roofs of a village in the far distance. Where the hell am I? Last thing I remember is...
Boy?
I glance down at the blue creature. What? And my response leaps up.
Boy!
Whoa! The Pongo jumps higher than I remember. Startles me and I instinctively step back. I didn't notice the other person until too late. We painfully collide and I lose my balance before toppling over. Fortunately, my hands catch myself, protecting my fall. When I open my eyes, I see a woman. Her eyes are scrunched shut and her mouth is twisted in a grimace. Her long blonde hair is splayed out around her. As she lets out a small groan, she blinks open her eyes and fixes her gaze on me. Wait, she looks familiar. This girl. I know her. Wait, Leanna? She blinks.
What?
I have an uneasy feeling in my stomach. Something about her. Something that happened. Why do I feel like someone punched me in the gut?
Get off me!
Huh? A flash of blue light stings my eyes. Suddenly I'm shoved off with a roaring wind. It groans and shoves me backwards onto the ground. Ow! Leanna scrambles to her feet. She draws her sword. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Leanna, what are you doing? Her eyes narrow.
How do you know my name?
What? Confusion washes over me. What are you saying? For some reason, my heart clenches. Something about Leanna seems painful, but I can't put my finger on why that is. My stomach squirms. I rise to my feet. You don't remember me? Leanna doesn't answer. She watches me, her gaze cool and guarded. I shift under her stare. I glance around the place. Looks like I'm in a meadow. Hey, where are we? Her defense stays up.
What do you mean, where are we?
Something just feels off. Maybe you can show me the way to the... I'm trying to remember. Where did she take me before? She led me somewhere, didn't she? Mage Academy. Can you take me there? I'm not sure where it is anymore.
Get away from me, you creep!
Horror washes over me. What? She spins on her heel with a whirl of blonde hair and dashes away. What? Wait! That's no use. She doesn't stop. This isn't right. This isn't how I remember things going. Something is off. It has to be, but... I glance around. Where am I? Yeah, this place is called Meadow Hill. It looks the same, but somehow it still feels so different. After Meadow Hill, Leanna led me to the Mage Academy where Zack and Amy joined our group. But Kara joined us somewhere else. Where was that? So after that we went to Ember Mist. That was it. She helped us go through the Fire Temple. And we've been traveling together for a long time. But I can't shake this feeling that something significant happened recently. Where did we all last go together? Last place was Medja. That's right, the city outside of Havengard, where Leanna... My mind freezes. Where she broke up with me. Feels like I was just punched in the gut. All this isn't right. Leanna and I, we were together. We aren't strangers. This place, it can't be the real Meadow Hill. This can't be the real Asaria. As soon as that last thought passes through my head, the sky cracks. A shimmer of warmth rushes into Meadow Hill and floods it with white light. I cringe and shield my eyes with my hands. I jerk awake. The light is gone.
Boy!
Huh? I can feel the Pongo resting on my chest, but he looks just like a blurry blue blob. I blink rapidly, forcing my vision to refocus. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears.
Boy! Boy!
He nudges my cheek as if trying to wake me.
Boy! Boy!
His little voice is tinged with distress. Hey, it's alright. I'm okay. The Pongo perks up at my voice.
Boy!
I reach out and pet the top of his head. Hey, it's okay.
Boy! Boy!
He wobbles underneath my touch. I feel him start to relax. He hops onto my shoulder, snuggling close to my neck. I force myself to stand. The room sways a little. It takes me a full minute to realize I'm back in the Shadow Temple. I groan and rub the back of my head. What was that? I feel the Pongo shrug.
Boy! Boy!
So you didn't see any of that? He blinks.
Boy!
Apparently not. Was it all just a dream? I look around. Where did the others go? I blink away the rest of the blurriness from my vision and see the others are sprawled out across the floor. My stomach lurches with alarm. What happened? Are they hurt? Leanna's the closest to me. I stumble as I rush over to her. Leanna. I reach out, attempting to shake her awake. As soon as I touch her, that same blinding light explodes in my vision. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut. Then slowly the light begins to fade. Huh? I open my eyes. Isn't this Leanna's home? We're all seated at the table for breakfast. The tension is taut in the air.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a mage knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a mage knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? But if those things happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a mage knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Leanna points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill as she tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a mage knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
For once, Leanna is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap, as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth as if he wants to speak, but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can discuss the details of the engagement.
No.
The rage returns to her father's face.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Leanna's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
Then her parents laugh.
Fine.
Shock spreads across Leanna's face.
What?
He shrugs.
If you refuse to fulfill your responsibility as a Dawn, then you have no right to call yourself a Dawn.
Your father would never say that. No, this is right. Her father was mortified when Leanna suggested throwing away her family name before. Leanna, that isn't your father.
What?
She looks around. Can she hear me? I try raising my voice. Think about it. Your father would never say something like that. She freezes. Yes, she can hear me. Don't you think all of this is strange? Her head turns in the direction of my voice, but I don't think she can see me.
Liana, are you listening to me?
She turns to face him. Her posture becomes straighter.
I understand now.
She shakes her head.
I understand now. You are not my family. My father would never say something like that.
Just like before, there's another blinding flash of light. engulfs the room until it burns my eyes too much to keep them open. I cringe, shielding my face. After a few moments, I feel the lights slowly begin to fade. When I open my eyes again, Leanna is still on the ground. She gasps awake. Are you okay? I'm still on my knees, hovering beside her.
I think so.
Leanna lets out a deep sigh.
I'm happy all of that was just a terrible dream.
She shivers.
I know that's not how it happened, but hearing it was still unnerving.
I nod. She releases a heavy breath.
Thank you.
I nod. Leanna glances around. She must spot the others because her face furrows in concern.
Are they okay? What's happening to them?
I think they're trapped inside their own illusions. When I touched you, I was able to see and hear everything going on. I think we can help them too. She nods, still visibly shaken.
Right.
I help her stand and then we drag her way over to the others. Zack is the closest. His face is surprisingly calm, as if he was just cuddled up for an afternoon nap. Even so, I feel an impending sense of dread. What kind of illusion is Zack facing? I can't even begin to imagine some of the awful things he must have seen in his past as a mercenary. Are you ready? Leanna nods. Together we bend down and touch his arm. There's that same low moaning sound, a flash of light. Leanna and I find ourselves at a campsite. A few silver stars wink overhead. The air is cool and calm. Fireflies blink in the distance.
Where are we?
I'm not sure. There's an abrupt roar of laughter. We turn around to see Zack sitting around a fire with a large group of people. They all burst into another wave of laughter and Zack joins in their merriment. I was expecting something darker, but he's actually happy. My stomach clenches. I'm not sure if that's worse or not. Zack glances over at a few of the cards in his hands. I notice the others are also hunched over their own cards.
Damon, do you have any sixes?
My heart gives an unpleasant twist.
Oh,
Worry crinkles between Leanna's brows.
Damon. That's his old mentor, right?
I nod. I remember some of the stories Zack told me about Damon at the inn. He looks just as helpful and strong as Zack described him to be. Damon chuckles.
Not today, my boy.
Zack sighs and begrudgingly takes a card from the pile.
Hey, Zack. You don't happen to have any sixes, do you?
Zack frowns. Vera chuckles. He has the same bright red hair, but he looks younger here. A few of the marks on his face look fresh, like he got them recently. Zack grudgingly hands over his cards. A grin sprawls across Vera's face. He places down several matches.
Looks like I win again.
The others throw their heads back and groan, but they're laughing. Zack shakes his head.
You always seem to win.
Vera shrugs, feigning humility.
What can I say? I'm just lucky.
Damon claps a hand over Zack's shoulder.
Maybe next time, Zack.
Zack smiles, looking appreciative. My stomach turns. Zack, this isn't real. Zack pauses. He lifts his head up and turns in our direction.
What's wrong?
He shakes his head.
Nothing. I just thought I heard my name.
Vera laughs.
Getting a little crazy there, Zack?
A faint blush dusts his cheeks. He shakes his head.
No, it was nothing.
Leanna frowns next to me.
This isn't good. What if he doesn't want to leave the illusion?
Hey, dinner's ready. Everyone perks up.
Oh, great. I'm starving.
One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Just as soon as Zack is about to dig in, someone hands Vera a bowl. It's twice the size of everyone else's. Zack barely blinks an eye.
You've got to eat up there. I can't have my star pupil going hungry.
Vera flashes Damon a bright smile.
Thanks.
Damon takes a few bites of his soup.
Oh, by the way, Zack. After we're done, you can clean up for the night.
Zack blinks.
Me? But I cleaned up the last 3 times.
Damon smiles, looking apologetic.
Bear needs to have his strength to run point on the Crystal Rail mission tomorrow.
Zack blinks.
Wait,
Zack's held breath seems to leave his body.
the Crystal Rail?
Vera lets out a bitter laugh.
What? Did you think you were running point?
Realization washes over him. Zack's face pales.
That's not...
He shakes his head.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Zack looks like he's remembering. Hope flourishes in my chest. You ran point on that mission, Zack, not Vera. Vera betrayed you. Zack's brows furrow. I know he heard me.
I ran point on that mission.
What are you talking about?
Damon raises his eyebrows.
Zach, you're not making sense. We haven't done the mission yet.
Zach's eyes go dark. It's like his very soul has flown somewhere far, far away.
No. We have.
His grip tightens around his bowl. Damon's brows crinkle. The others stare at him.
What are you talking about?
He lets out a nervous laugh.
You're starting to worry me.
Zach slowly raises his head. His eyes are bleak.
No.
His bangs cover his eyes.
This isn't real.
Damon shifts under his gaze.
What do you mean?
Zach looks up. He seems to have trouble getting the words out.
This was nice. Seeing all of you again.
The group looks at him, but no one speaks. Zach stands up and brushes himself off.
You're leaving?
Zach nods.
I'm moving forward with my life. I'm not living in the past anymore.
He stares down at Damon. Damon finally smiles.
Take care then.
Always.
A bright light bursts across her eyes. It's like a star exploded and filled the entire campsite. I flinch, throwing my arm over my eyes. The heat from the light gradually begins to decrease. I feel it start to dim. When I lower my arm, a few bright spots blink in front of my nose. It takes a few seconds for my eyes to refocus, and I realize we're back in the temple. Zach groans, slowly hoisting himself up. He rubs his head. Leanna's brows crinkle.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Despite what happened, he seems to be at peace. These illusions use our memories. A shiver runs down the length of my spine. How does this place know so much about us? Zach shrugs. He doesn't offer any answers. Leanna, meanwhile, seems just as spooked as I am.
I don't know. We'd better help the others before they slip further away.
I nod. We walk a little farther down the corridor before finding Kara. Her brown ponytail is sprawled out behind her. Her face is wrought like she's having a nightmare. She flinches as we crouch down. I know Zach's jaw is tight. He reaches out and touches his shoulder, and Leanna and I follow suit. There's a flash of light. When it fades, I find myself staying between Leanna and Zach inside a small room.
My decision is final.
Huh? I look up. Zach is standing across from Kara with his arms crossed. Wait, what? I glance at the Zach beside me and then back to the scene. Is that other Zach an illusion? Kara's eyes shimmer with tears.
What did I do wrong?
You know exactly what you did wrong.
Kara's face crumples.
Please, don't.
She crosses her arms, hugging herself.
Please.
Don't pretend to be sorry now. You deserve to be alone. What?
The real Zach's face curdles into a snarl.
You bastard!
He lunges forward and punches the fake Zach in the face.
Ow!
He stumbles backwards, clutching his nose.
What the hell?
Fury contorts the real Zach's face.
What is wrong with you? What? Who are you?
Zach strikes him again so hard his head reels to the side.
Ow! Like hell, I'm gonna let you walk away from the greatest thing that happened in your life.
The other Zach props his jaw. His eyes stare wide at real Zach. I can see the shock and dismay in them. It's a weird look.
How are you even doing this?
Zach punches him again in response. Why are you hitting yourself? Hey, Zach. Zach looks at me. Why are you hitting yourself?
Shut up!
Kara blinks.
Wait.
Seems as though she's just now beginning to process what's going on. She looks between the two Zachs. I can see the cogs turning in her head, piecing everything together. Finally, she smiles. Blush dusts her cheeks.
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
The white light shimmers, blooms and sparkles over the entire area. Once again, we're taken out of the illusion and find ourselves back inside of the temple. Zach growls and swings forward, his fist whistling through the air. He stumbles and rights himself at the last minute.
Where is that guy?
He whirls around searching for him. Kara beams. She rushes over and throws her arms around Zach. Zach freezes. Kara snuggles her head into the crook of his neck.
So,
What?
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
Zach's face flushes ruby red.
I only said that so you'd wake up.
She continues to nuzzle him.
No take-backsies.
He turns away, still red, but he doesn't fight out of her grasp. I clear my throat. You guys, we still have to help Amy. Kara blinks, noticing us for the first time, and her expression becomes serious. She steps away from Zack, but not before snatching his hand. He gives her a confused look as she interlocks their fingers.
Come on, let's go find Amy.
We walk a little further along and find Amelia. She's sprawled across the floor. Her face, usually a mask of calm, is twisted with something unpleasant. I frown, suddenly uneasy. Whatever Amy is going through, it doesn't look good. As soon as I reach out and touch her arm, that same white light engulfs my vision. When it puffs out, I find myself back in Illumia.
This is the inn from Illumia, isn't it?
I look around. Yeah.
Greetings.
I whirl around. Amy is standing at the bar talking to Leanna. I blink. Why does Amy see an illusion of Leanna? The real Leanna flushes.
I don't know.
Amelia doesn't seem to even notice our presence. She continues on.
I am aware of the true location of Ember Mist.
My mind starts racing.
Wait, Ember Mist.
A light bulb goes off in my head. This is the day we first met Amy, when she asked to join our group. Leanna nods, looking worried. Why would Amy's trial be something like this?
You're just a kid. You should go back to the academy. It's too dangerous out here for someone your age.
Amelia turns pink. Someone as young as her. Realization washes over me like cold water. Everywhere Amy went, she was treated like a kid. The academy didn't take her seriously. Even us as a group are always babying her. Is this Amelia's worst fear? To always be seen as a child?
I think you are mistaken about my age. I am a student studying to be a mage caster. I have received top marks in all of my classes.
The fake Leanna laughs, shaking her head.
Aw, that's adorable. Little Amelia gets top marks. Do you want me to give you a gold star sticker?
Amelia flinches as the fake Leanna had just struck her. Pain flashes behind her eyes. Never seen her look this devastated before.
But
It would be a lot of work to protect you. I don't want to be a full-time babysitter while traveling.
Zack frowns as he sees Amy's distress. He shoves Leanna towards her illusion.
Go out there and punch your fake self in the face!
What?
Worked last time, I mean, it's sound logic. She stumbles, catching herself, and comes face to face with Amelia. Amelia blinks in surprise.
why are there two of you?
The real Leanna panics.
You can see me?
Yes,
The fake Leanna gives real Leanna a strange look as if to ask what she's doing there.
Don't listen to this imposter, Amy. You're the one that came out of nowhere. Clearly, you're the imposter.
Amy pauses.
perhaps this is another trial.
She taps her chin in thought.
There is really only one way to settle this.
Shoot them both? Both Leanna stare at her.
How?
Each of you must attempt a flirtatious encounter.
The fake Leanna smirks.
This will be a piece of cake. I refuse!
Leanna crosses her arms. Amelia doesn't even blink. She looks at the real Leanna and nods.
I am certain of who the real Leanna is, and I will no longer believe the lies of the other one.
The white light flashes instantly. It floods the room before fading away. A few seconds later, we find ourselves back at the temple. As her vision refocuses, Leanna looks at Amelia.
How did you guess which one was me so quickly?
Kara interrupts before Amy can answer.
Because you're a prude.
Leanna's eyes grow wide and she crosses her arms.
I am not.
Kara snickers. Leanna looks to Zack, who shrugs.
You definitely are.
She looks at me. She quickly looks away. My chest aches again with a fresh wave of pain. What I wouldn't give to be able to feel her affection once more. I shake my head, shaking away these thoughts. Amelia, who is still on the floor, rises to a stand. She rubs the back of her head in thought.
It is most interesting you were all able to join me in the same illusion. Was it the same for the rest of you?
We nod.
I see.
She still looks a bit bothered by what she saw in her illusion, but she crosses her arms.
Perhaps it would be best to keep moving. I believe that was a temple trial we just encountered. We must be close to the heart of the temple.
That's true. Normally after completing the trial, we'd be sent into the room with the elemental.
Hey, do you guys see that?
She points to a door. The carvings on it are rather intricate. I can see some more symbols in elaborate swirls and whorls. It's a deep plum purple staying out amongst the stone.
Do we attempt to open it?
Zack shrugs.
It's not like there's another option.
Let's go. I lead the way to the door and the others follow. We step through the door. Standing in the center directly facing me is the Shadow Elemental. Her long hair falls delicately to her back, flowing around her gossamer gown. Her dress hugs her every curve. As I lift my gaze, her violet eyes meet mine. I open my mouth to speak when a gasp interrupts me.
The elemental.
I glance over at my friends who are frozen in wide-eyed shock. Amy's eyes are the size of saucers. Her mouth is open in silent wonder. I can almost see the questions racing through her mind. Leanna's expression is one of more quiet amazement. She carefully looks the elemental up and down. Zack slowly shakes off his surprise and resumes his usual expression, while Kara doesn't even bother to mask her appreciation. Wait, you can see her?
I sure can. No wonder you went ahead and kissed the last one.
Always with the jokes, Kara. My gaze darts towards Leanna. She pretends like it doesn't faze her, but she refuses to meet my eyes. Zack claps a hand on my back.
Guess you aren't crazy after all.
Throughout the whole encounter, the Shadow Elemental's gaze remains on me. As I refocus on her, a smile lights up her face. Her dress shimmers as she takes a step closer.
Child of the other world, you have finally arrived.
So that's Kira Buckland, if you're into the whole voice actor scene, or voice actress in this case. She's in the, that Squire game. It finished Kickstarter, I don't know how it did, I'm staying away from that thing. But if you want to hear more of this voice actress's work, by all means, go check it out. She's probably done other stuff too, it's just, I don't remember offhand. Her voice feels familiar yet strange, like a melody I can't quite place. It's quiet yet resounding, delicate but powerful. Holy talking elementals, Batman! You can talk! I blurt the exclamation out before thinking. She merely looks at me, and I feel a blush crawl up my cheeks. None of the other elementals spoke.
Yes, for the safety of Mortalis Terra, they could not.
How come?
In order for us to manifest fully onto Mortalis Terra, it would drain a dangerous amount of energy. Because of that, my sisters have merely projected illusions of themselves to help guide you.
So, are you an illusion too? She shakes her head and her hair brushes alluringly over her chest.
Shadow energy is in excess here. I came seeking your aid.
You need my help.
Ether Terra, where I am from, and Mortalis Terra work in conjunction with each other to maintain the balance of energy. When Terrans use energy, it returns to Ether Terra. And when we use energy, it flows back to Mortalis Terra. This is the reason why maintaining the balance of energy is important. It is so both of our planes of existence can live and thrive upon our shared world. But we noticed an irregularity. Shadow energy was being used less on Mortalis Terra, and as a result, there was less shadow energy available in Ether Terra. But the other elemental energy usage remained unchanged. My people grew increasingly restless at the lack of shadow energy in our world. Some decided to take matters into their own hands. Slowly, shadow energy increased in use until it was back in balance with the other elements. And yet, shadow energy continued to grow and grow. And now the imbalance has returned, with the scale tipped to shadow energy.
That must be because of Void tainting other magic to Shadow.
Leanna's voice is soft, barely a whisper, but it surprised me nonetheless. The dip in shadow energy they felt in Ether Terra must have been a result of the ban of shadow magic after the Treaty of Asaria, and the spike must have occurred after Void began tainting spheres. For the first time, the Shadow Elemental's gaze slides over to Leanna, who falls quiet under her scrutiny, uncertain under scrutiny. The Shadow Elemental smiles softly. Her gaze continues to Zack and then Kara, but lingers on Amy.
You have a strength and ability much greater than your age.
Amy continues to stare in awe. She's too awestruck to speak. The Shadow Elemental smiles reassuringly. A gentle silence falls over us as I contemplate all she just said. This isn't what I was expecting.
Time is of the essence. I should not remain here much longer, but I'm sure you have questions.
My mind races with questions. There's an elemental, and she's not from here, and she's talking to me. That in itself is a lot to wrap my head around. I take a deep breath and force myself to calm down and collect my thoughts. You said you're from Ether Terra. Where is that?
It's on Terra, but on a different plane of existence.
I furrow my brows. I see. That explanation makes enough sense to me. What are you? What is an elemental? She delicately cocks her head.
Your titles are not the same as ours. I'm not familiar with elementals.
That's the term Terrans use to refer to you.
Oh,
A smile plays on her lips and she runs her fingers through her hair thoughtfully.
elemental. I like it. I am the Shadow Magistrate. As such, it is my responsibility to maintain the balance of shadow energy flow between Mortalis Terra and Ether Terra, and to balance the shadow element among the other elements.
That's quite interesting. She smiles. I can understand why the Terrans view the elementals as deities, but it sounds like that's not the case. They're more akin to societal leaders. Where are the temples in their trials? If Terrans built these temples for you, why do the temple trials exist?
Every elemental energy type is manipulated in a different way. The trials are created by us and tailored to determine the capacity one has to handle that energy. The trials are implemented and watched over by the Guardians. They ensure the integrity of both the trials and the participants.
I remember the Firefox at the Fire Temple, but where were the other Guardians? How come I didn't see all the Guardians at each temple?
The Guardians do not always appear. Some do not wish to be seen, but all are present within their temple.
I remember the trial in the Water Temple. I wonder if that imitation Amy was actually the Guardian in disguise. I see. She nods. Why me? Was it you who brought me to Terra?
Yes,
Why'd you pick me?
we sensed the fortitude of magic ability on the parallel world was significantly stronger than here on Terra. So my sisters and I opened the rift to that world.
But why?
The humans from that world, your world, have a capacity for magic that is unseen here on Terra.
How is that possible? Earth has no magic. She shakes her head.
I do not have the answer to that.
That surprises me. I guess the elementals are not as all-knowing as I expected. They have their limitations too. But why did you choose me specifically? She looks at me.
We hoped that a champion from your world would help us, and so you traveled through the rift.
So it was purely by chance that I was chosen. How do you know that I would come and collect energy? You were waiting for me. How do you know I'd come here or go to any of the temples?
We believed that you would naturally find the areas of high energy concentration, if only to find a way to return home. My sisters tried to guide you as much as they could.
I guess it was just lucky that we encountered Void and pieced together what was going on. How do you know I'd help you even after learning about Void?
We had faith in you.
So I would have loved to have said this one in the other playthrough. Of course I'll help. And here I am. Your faith was well put. She nods. That's all I need to know for now. We should get moving and stop Void. Lannister is gently beside me, reminding me of her presence. I'd forgotten that they were still there. It makes sense they remain quiet to let the Shadow Elemental explain. Kira steps forward.
Sorry to interrupt, but how come we can see you?
The Shadow Elemental turns to face her. Her hair floats behind her before falling back in place.
In this manifested state, I exist in your plane.
Kira digs an elbow into Zack.
And someone here didn't believe the elementals were real.
He crosses his arms.
Yeah, well, someone also told us Void would be here. But I haven't seen them anywhere.
You're right, it's been quiet.
If they aren't here, then where would they be?
Besides this location, I can sense one other area with a strong congregation of shadow energy.
Amy nods, finding her voice again.
Perhaps that is where Void is located.
Is it nearby?
The elemental shakes her head.
No, but I can send you where you need to go.
By opening a rift? She nods. It's pretty helpful that she can open a rift. The elemental reaches out her hand. For a moment, nothing happens. But Then a small purple hole the size of a pea tears open in the space in front of us. It eats the surrounding space until the opening is large enough for a person to fit through. I stare in awe as the jagged fabric of reality falls around it. The rift opening is a rich lavender with no indication of where it leads. It feels ominous and familiar. My friends look stiffly at the rift, distrust and hesitation in their eyes. Only Amelia looks intrigued and excited by it.
The balance of the elements must be restored. We're counting on your help.
How come you don't come with us?
This temple has a tremendous amount of energy. It's safe for me to manifest here for a brief time, but I cannot manifest elsewhere, lest it cause irreparable harm to Mortalis Terra.
Amelia steps up to the rift, but the elemental stops her. She faces me again.
There is something I must give you first.
She steps towards me, her dress billowing behind her. She reaches out her hands. Before she touches me, Leanna pulls me away.
Hold on.
What? The shadow elemental remains frozen. Her eyes are expressionless as they land on Leanna.
You've seen the kind of damage shadow magic can do. Are you sure it's safe for you to accept that?
Shadow magic on its own does not do harm, as is the same with any element.
But the corruption it can cause.
I put a hand on Leanna to reassure her. It'll be no different than when I absorbed any other element. Everything will be fine. Her brows are still creased with worry, but she nods and steps back. The shadow elemental places her palms around my face. Her initial touch is like getting hit with a snowball, an icy impact which fades into nothingness. A smooth stream of energy pours into me, soft as silk and as cold as ice. It freezes my bones, darkening my spirits. My teeth begin to chatter and my body shakes. My vision clouds as wave after wave of energy forces itself inside me. They cling to me and twist and crawl within me. I feel numb, yet my senses are heightened. It runs through my veins, weightless but present, like a shadow. Everything ceases when she breaks contact. I jolt back, blinking my eyes until my vision returns. She seems more translucent than before. Leanna rushes over to me.
Are you okay?
Yeah? I turn back to the elemental. Thank you. She nods.
I have done all I can. The rest is up to you.
My friends also look back at the elemental.
You can count on us to help.
Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish time was not so urgent. I have many questions I wish to ask of you, but I thank you for all you've done for us.
The shadow elemental nods and indicates the rift.
Please proceed with haste.
I hesitate, staring into the brightness. What happens if I walk through here? Amelia confidently steps through the rift.
Amy!
Zack is right behind her heel, and Kara races after him. Only Leanna and I remain. She looks over to me. As I meet her gaze, I nod, which she returns. She runs through. Stealing my nerves, I follow Leanna into the rift. The brightness surrounds me, engulfing me until it's all I can see. The muted silence is deafening. My blood races through me, but I can barely feel the adrenaline. I feel like I'm suspended in crackling electric air. My legs wade through the light. It's thick and heavy, as if I'm wading through water. Time seems to slow, and yet, an instant later, I stumble out of the light and into a forest. When I turn back, I catch one last glimpse of the shadow elemental. She waves goodbye before the rift closes behind us. Before I have a chance to get my bearings, Kira immediately pulls me down. I'm about to protest, but she puts a finger to her lips. She points to a row of bushes, keeping us from sight. I nod my understanding and stay quiet. Looking around, I see the tall trees overhead form a thick canopy, blocking out the sun. The tree trunks are thick and gnarled. Many of them have heavy scarring. The grass beneath my feet feels thin and hard. When I look further out, the landscape changes to a barren patch of dry ground flocked with craters. Looks like some serious damage took place here. Footsteps sound nearby. I see a patrol group pass close to us. I hold my breath as they walk by. Luckily, they don't spot us. When they're out of sight, I breathe a sigh of relief. Kara relaxes slightly, as do the rest of my teammates. Where are we?
It would appear we are on the former battleground of the Battle of Asaria.
I take another look at the harsh land. Must have been a really intense battle to have scarred the landscape this much. Leanna looks at her manipulator.
I'm scanning extremely high levels of shadow energy here.
As am I. It is without question this is where Void's main base of operation is.
She fiddles with her manipulator.
And the energy type is specific to being transmuted into tainted energy.
Can't say I'm surprised.
This doesn't add up. You would think a place where Void was last strongest would be a place that would be monitored.
According to the Mage Guild reports, they do monitor here.
Then what gives?
The shadow energy here is vast. It would appear Void has used this to their advantage, to not only mask their energy signature, but to also shroud themselves from the eyes of scouts. We, however, appear to have pierced the veil by being on the inside of it.
The Shadow Elementals sent us inside their defenses. That's helpful. Voids shouldn't be underestimated. They're dangerous, but not stupid.
Look there!
Leanna points into the distance. Tendrils of shadow crawl towards the sky. They flicker and dance above the skyline. Amelia checks her manipulators again.
That location has the highest concentration of energy.
Then that's where we need to go to stop them.
The group readies themselves as Zack surveys the surroundings.
There's a lot of ground between us and them. Not to mention all the patrols, guards, and lookouts they'll have.
He is right. One does not simply walk into the heart of Void's operation.
Kara can sneak us in. Isn't Kara good at the whole sneaking business?
I am, but there's too much open ground. Plus, we're traveling in a group.
Oh, right. That was a stupid suggestion. Maybe I can use my newfound energy. I think I have a way. They look at me. I have shadow magic now. What if we turn it around on them and I'll shroud us in a shadow cloak? They seem skeptical.
You've never cast shadow magic before.
I can try. I close my eyes and focus on the icy emptiness I felt when the shadow energy poured into me. I remember its soft, biting touch. I raise my hand and a dark bubble of shadow engulfs us. It's reminiscent of the bubble Amelia encased us into the water temple. Zack and Kara inspect the bubble, poking cautiously at the sides. Leanna seems impressed.
You did it!
Most impressive, although not surprising considering his previous mastery of the elements. Let us make haste.
I focus my attention on the shadow shroud as we shuffle out of cover. My heart pounds in my chest. Will this actually keep us hidden? We pause as we hear more footsteps. Another set of patrols come our way. I hold my breath as they near, then sigh out when they walk past us. The shroud successfully kept us hidden. Quickly, but quietly, we continue toward the center of the encampment. We make good progress, stopping only when we get too close to the patrols. I keep the shadow shroud around us, feeling the energy flowing out of me. Even though I've been casting it for this long, I don't feel tired. All of that training has finally paid off. Eventually we reach the inner circle. There's a circle of robed figures. Their dark hoods cover their faces, but the deep purple robes of void mages are unmistakable. The purple shadows fly around them, whispering and mixing with their chants. The tendrils whip wildly in the air as it continues to grow. They thicken the sky, shielding light within a dark cloud. This is a lot more magic than we originally saw. We're about to form a plan when one of the guards looks in our direction. His gaze pierces through my shroud and he seems to look right at us. What's going on? I haven't stopped my magic. The rest of his squadron is staring at us too. I take another look at their uniforms. They wear armor and carry a sword, but also have manipulators. It reminds me of Leanna's garb. Are these Void Mage Knights?
I have a bad feeling about this.
As one, they draw their swords. The metal ringing echoes in the air. Their manipulators start to glow.
They found us! Dodge!
A flurry of shadow bolts fire in our direction. We leap out of the way. My concentration is broken and the shroud collapses. The Void Knights dash towards us as purple energy gathers in their hands.
We need to reach the mages and stop whatever they're doing.
I don't think Void Knights are going to let us through that easily.
Then we'll fight right through them!
We ready ourselves for action. Okay, folks, here's the final battle. Every bit tense and dramatic as you thought it'd be, right? My breath comes in ragged gasps as I face the next Void Knight, but I don't hesitate. As he swings, I whip past him and his sword pierces empty air. I strike from behind, knocking the sword out of his hand. Then using the blunt end of my blade and augmented by a rush of wind, I knock him out. He crumples to the ground. The rest of my team stand with me as we scan the area for more enemies. The ground is littered with fallen Void Knights, but the circle of mages still stands. Their chanting grows in volume as the shadows continue to multiply. They ignore our presence, entranced in their own world.
Perform the final channel!
No!
Leanna and Amy throw magic as the mages pour all of their energy into the dark shadow. Zack and Kara start to race towards the circle, but a wave of darkness washes over us, flinging us back. We're too late. The dancing shadow warps and surges. Flickering claws reach out as it bursts through the ground and engulfs the circle. The darkness swells and reaches taller than the meager trees, blinding me with its blanket of shadow. I hear the faint cackle of the mages as a surge of purple energy explodes. Shielding my eyes from the blast, I put my hand forth and summon a barrier of opaque shadow to protect us from the shockwaves. As the magic slowly ebbs, I blink my eyes back into focus. The entire place is littered with fallen void. Only my friends and I were protected from the blast. However, the shadows twist away to reveal empty eyes. They curl into long claws and sharp teeth, and I gape at the monstrosity looming in the sky.
What is that?
I have never seen such a creature before.
Leanna takes in the scene of fallen victims, her mouth twisting into a frown.
And it left a full trail of destruction as it emerged, without discriminating between void or anything else.
A piercing howl deafens us as the creature screams. It swipes a long claw at us, but I erect another barrier. Although I manage to block the attack, we're still pushed back by the sheer force of power. Crack. Zack's discharger goes off, shocking us back to life. The energy is absorbed by the creature, and Zack's eyes widen as it fixes its lifeless stare onto him. It swipes another claw at us. This time I can't block it in time, and we're sent flying across the camp. My cheek scrapes along the ground as I fall hard. My team struggles to their feet beside me. Amy conjures a flaming sphere between her hands and launches it at the creature. The ball of fire disperses harmlessly across the Shadow Beast. Undeterred, Amy tries to freeze it in place, but it blocks her magic, leaving it unscathed. It roars as it swipes another claw at Amy, but Kara pushes her out of the way and takes the brunt of the attack. She's knocked back against a tree and slides limply to the ground. Amy rushes over to her. In the meantime, Leanna races around the creature, trying to draw its attention. Her sword glows a pale blue as she hacks at the shadow creature's base. It roars again and coils of shadow wrap around Leanna's legs. She manages to wriggle free, but the tendrils are relentless, and soon she's trapped. All of our attacks are futile against the creature. Leanna and Zack motion for a retreat, but the creature shoots out shadows to block our escape. Slowly, the shadows surround us and close in. We're forced to remain and fight. We share a glance and nod. We have to work together to take this thing down. Leanna and Kara both run in. Amy sends bolts of ice towards the monster, freezing any tendrils which try to escape just in time for Leanna to slice them down. The creature howls in pain. He tries to swipe at Leanna, but Amy burns his claws with a ball of fire and it recoils from the heat. Zack aims his discharge and shoots at any tendrils which try to reach Kara, while Kara fiercely cuts ribbons of shadow off of the beast. Again, the beast lets out another shriek as the tendrils coil back. I bring up an earthen barrier to shield Amy as a sneaky shadow tendril tries to strike her. Then I cut it down with my sword. I blast the creature with a burning fireball and send a burst of wind behind it. The resulting explosion is twice as big as it hits the creature straight in the chest. It stumbles back as we continue to advance. It looks like we're doing some damage. Another surge of adrenaline kicks in as I let loose another fireball. The beast lets out another scream, one so shrill I feel it in my bones. It swells in size, growing and surging until it blocks out the sky completely. Raising its claw, it pummels us with a series of fast attacks. I bring up a shield, but the claw rips right through it. We're sent sprawling across the ground again. My face burns as I scrape the dirty ground. Feeling bruised, we push ourselves back to our feet. We can't give up now. The creature watches us struggle and splits into a chaotic grin. As I stumble back onto my feet, I look at the rest of my team still on the ground. They groan as they push themselves to their feet. My legs shake as I steady myself. We can't go on like this. I can already feel the exhaustion settling in. I won't be able to keep this up forever. Either I run out of energy or my body gives up on me. A thought nibbles at the back of my mind. But what if I use up all of my remaining energy and channel it into one powerful blast? I know that if I do that, there's no coming back from it. My body is already close to hitting the point of exhaustion, and Amelia has warned me multiple times about what will happen if I channel too much energy at once. But this may be our only chance at stopping the creature. All these temples we visited, all that energy I accumulated, I feel it humming deep within me, a gentle reminder that it's still there, as if it knows its time has come. It was all for this moment. The energy within me itches to be released, but I pause. That explosion of energy is dangerous for my friends too. I don't want them to get caught in the blast. I need to get them to a secure location. I can't channel all my energy, shield my friends, and fight off the creature simultaneously. But how do I get them to go?
Boy.
I look down at the Pongo. What is he doing here? He looks at me and his eyes harden. His body buzzes like the energy within me. I think he can sense what I need to do.
Boy.
I can feel the energy surrounding him too. My energy, which he's slowly been storing all this time. It sings to each other, wanting to be whole again. I think the Pongo wants to let it free. What will happen to you? The Pongo gives me a knowing look. His eyes harden with determination. What will happen to him is the same thing that will happen to me if I unleash all my energy at once. And you would still do it?
Boy.
A mix of emotion roils within me. I don't want to lose him, but I understand the decision that he's made. It's the same decision that I'm making. Stay back. I push my teammates behind me as I step between them and the creature. I have to use all my energy to protect my friends, to protect Terra, no matter the cost. If I have to risk my life to protect those I love, then that is one risk I'm willing to take. The Pongo hops forward with me.
What are you doing?
What we have to do.
Boy.
The Pongo's voice feels small, but the determination in its eyes is strong.
Wait!
The Pongo closes his eyes and a bright light encapsulates him like a shining halo. The light hardens around us, forming a magical barrier. The dome cages me and the Pongo in with the Shadow Beast, leaving my friends safely on the outside. I see my teammates shouting. They sound faint and far away. I can't make out their words, but I can still hear the pain in their voices. Soon, that is drowned out by the cry from the creature. It writhes in pain, twisting away from the bright light shielding it. With the barrier in place, I concentrate on the energy within me. Leanna steps towards the protective shield, her eyes glittering. She places her hands against the grid, banging against it. Her screams are muffled, as is the pounding of her fists against the dome. Energy from the dome sparkles each time she pounds against it. I shake my head. I can't hear her. She shakes her head, her hands trembling against the barrier. My heart aches as I watch her face fall. She looks so helpless and lost, and it's all my fault. But this is the only way I know I can protect her. I smile softly and place my hand against hers. The shield feels cool as the hum of energy vibrates beneath my fingers. She overlaps her hands perfectly against mine, but her warmth doesn't penetrate the cold, hard barrier. I'll keep you safe, I promise. She shakes her head again. Her eyes widen as she pounds against the shield again. The tears slow down her cheeks as she shouts again. Leanna. She pauses, her hands cling to the dome, her eyes glittering. I'm so lucky to have met you. I know our time together is short, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. You're the best thing to have ever happened to me. Even when she can't hear me, she sees the expression on my face and the tears spill over again, leaving twin trails of wetness down her cheeks. I don't care that we're no longer together. There's a chance I won't see her again, and I need to tell her exactly how I feel. Leanna, I love you. She gasps sharply as she reads my lips. She clutches at the barrier. Then she uses her wind magic to try and break through the shield. When that doesn't work, she grabs her sword, but none of her strikes make a dent. I give her one last smile and turn towards the beast. The shadow creature bares its teeth and lets out an otherworldly howl. He continues to reel back from the light surrounding him. All of my rage and pent frustration bubbles within me. Remembering the malicious glee on that beast's face is what forces my anger to boil over. How dare that thing try to hurt my friends? How dare it threaten Terra? I won't let it. A scream rips out of my throat as I let the anger wash over me. It burrows deep into my bones, igniting the energy within me. All the feelings of each element memorials within me. The tranquility, chaos, rejuvenation. I feel the white hot flash as all the energy races through me, itching to be released. The light finally dissipates around the creature and it blinks a few times, trying to refocus. When it sees me, it growls and tries to swipe at me, but another shield blocks it. The Pongo made sure I would have enough time to channel all of my energy. I won't forget what you've done for me. Feeling renewed strength, I continue to gather the energy within me. On the extra barrier. With each solid hit, I begin to see fractures forming along the surface. Just as the energy is about to overwhelm me, I throw up my arms and the power rises out of me, materializing as 5 pointed swords, all deadly sharp and all poised to strike at the creature. As they emerge, they pierce what remains of my barrier, dispatching kaleidoscopes of light at the beast. It shrieks from the light, howling with rage. My mind is strangely calm. My senses sharpened. I can smell the crackle of energy in the air. It's sweet yet spicy. The hair on my neck stands on end as the remaining energy continues to surge within me. As the beast shakes off the last of the light, it refocuses on me, baring its teeth. You don't scare me. I open my arms wide and force all of my remaining energy into each blade as it shoots out. The creature readies itself for impact. Instead, I force the blades into the ground, fracturing the earth and creating a perimeter around the beast. A beam of golden light shoots straight up from the swords. The shadow beast blinks as it shields its eyes from the light. When nothing more happens, it growls at me, readying another attack. Before it can, more beams of light splinter off from the swords and surround the creature. The feelings uncoil within me as the energy flashes into existence. Fire, shadow. The beast twists around, confused by the light, which continues to grow and grow in brightness. My body feels heavy as the energy gushes out of me. The light becomes blinding as my legs give out beneath me. I'm on the ground, the energy continues to expel out of my body. I can't control it anymore. With each wave of energy, my body heaves. Exhaustion blankets me and my body feels heavy. And yet, the brilliant light blazes hot, blinding me, and chases the shadows away. GG. With my final ounce of strength, I pour all the remaining energy into the swords. I win. The creature lets loose an anguished scream as it begins to dissolve. The scream lingers in my mind, resonating in my ears. Through the blinding whiteness, I imagine Lena's smile, just as dazzling as the light. And then, nothing. It's over. It's finally over. My friends are safe. And that's what's important. With a smile on my face, I let the brightness wash over me as my world falls silent. I blink open my eyes into a world of gray. Where am I? Feeling groggy, I rub my eyes and look around. Stiff mountain peaks climb into the horizon while a stream bubbles nearby. It flows into a river basin underneath a splashing waterfall. The scenery is very picturesque and looks straight out of a magazine, but the colors are all wrong. Everything in the immediate area around me is black or white or some shade in between. As I gaze further into the distance, I see a grove of trees with a pocket of green. To the left of me are a cluster of purple mountains. The more I look around, the more I see colors localized to specific areas. I wonder why only some places have colors and others don't. Soft voices catch my attention. I look over and recognize the spirits from the temple. They look exactly as I remember, but more solid, more real.
Those who summoned the Shadow Prime Vanquisher must be discovered to face the consequences. Their actions cannot be ignored.
Once your investigation begins, it will only be a matter of time before the perpetrators are found. Only those in energy surplus can open a rift onto Mortalis Terra.
The Earth Elemental's voice is sweet and melodic, like the birds of the forest. The Air Elemental's eyes widen.
Such is forbidden, though. That is something they would have known.
Her voice is strong and carries far. It's strange hearing all the elementals talk. The others nod in agreement.
Yes, and out of those who can cross over to Mortalis Terra, only 3 Shadow Houses have access to a Shadow Prime Vanquisher. The Shadow Houses have remained quiet ever since I took over the Magistrate. I wonder if they were all plotting this.
The Water Elemental places a comforting hand on the Shadow Elemental's arm. When she speaks, her voice bubbles and flows like the rush of a river.
You cannot blame yourself for these unfortunate courses of events. Their plan was in the making before you even ascended the Shadow Magistrate.
I think that might be Valerie's voice from Ace Academy. The Earth Elemental, I think, is Yuna's. The Earth Elemental nods.
In truth, you handled the situation quite well, especially for being new in your role.
The Fire Elemental puts her hands on her hips. The heat of dancing flames is in her voice.
However, Sister Magistrates, our work is far from over. We must each return to our domains. If rumors spread that there are no consequences for crossing into Mortalis Terra, we may have our own houses who might hope to take matters into their own hands and try to summon our own elemental prime vanquishers.
I stir, pushing myself off the ground, and the elementals freeze. The Shadow Elemental looks over to me and gasps.
You're here?
At the mention of me, the other elementals turn around and slowly make their way towards me. Their faces are a mixture of concern and surprise. The Air Elemental flits over to me and looks me over.
Is he real? No human has ever crossed over to our side before.
That might be Nikki's voice from Ace Academy. That's supposed to be over. I look over each of the elementals. So many hot women in one place. There's no other place this could be. Have I died and gone to heaven?
No, this is the Ether Terra.
Ether Terra? How? Last thing I remember is defeating the creature, and then there was this blinding light. The elementals share a glance.
The light? Was it from your cast?
I think so.
And you casted all of the elements at once?
Yeah. They blink at each other in surprise. When the Fire Elemental speaks, she sounds pensive.
You must have inadvertently opened a temporal fracture, which pulled you into Ether Terra.
I somehow casted a rift? And yet I'm still alive. But all I remember is the crippling pain of energy consuming me. Is that even possible? They look at each other worried.
That I cannot answer for certain. Yet you stand here in our realm. No human has ever set foot in Ether Terra before, but no human has been able to cast all of the elements either.
I look around my surroundings. The landscape feels familiar, but nothing is the same. It all feels so overwhelming. All I want is to return to normalcy. It doesn't matter how I got here, I need to get back. Can you send me back?
Back where exactly?